Welcome. It is episode number 24 of Real&Raw Conversations with Shalina. And trigger warning, tonight I am talking about suicide. So if this raises any concern for you in your welfare, please call 000 or Beyond Blue or Lifeline. And before we begin, for my Australian viewers, it is legal and lawful to leave your house during COVID if you are facing domestic and family violence. So call 000 or 1-800-RESPECT on 1-800-737-732 if you need help. So tonight I'm talking about suicide. And some of us have either felt suicidal at some point in our lives, or we know somebody who has felt suicidal, or we may have even lost somebody to suicide. And, there is no shame in feeling suicidal, not now and not ever. And, we are human and these feelings are so natural. So please reach out if you need help. The numbers are on the bottom of this screen. So when somebody tells us that they are feeling suicidal or says things that, that insinuate that they are considering ending their lives, it can be very confronting and scary, and it can be even shocking. And you may not be sure about what to do or whether you should take it seriously or not, or if your intervention might make the situation worse. So tonight I'm going to break down to you and we'll talk you through how you can help somebody who is feeling suicidal, what you can say, what you shouldn't say or shouldn't do. And it's a very important topic, so please stay with me. I will get straight to the point and then you can get on with your night. So let's talk about it, and let's start with the possible reasons for the contemplation of suicide. So there are many reasons why a person may feel like ending their lives, and I'm going to read you out a few that I've listed here. So of course, one of them is those who are socially isolated, and COVID being one of those times, I would not doubt how many people must be feeling suicidal right now. Parental separation or divorce, homelessness. This one's for the parents. If you are pressuring your children academically, so parents who push and force their kids to study something they don't want to study, or to get grades above a certain percentage or a certain number, that is so stressful and so detrimental to mental health, and it can lead to children and teenagers wanting to commit suicide. People who have been subjected to forced marriages, couples who are married and have their in-laws intervening constantly and causing constant problems within a marriage. This happens a lot within Indian households. Those who have PTSD and have suffered through war crimes or are from war-torn countries. People who are subject to legal or court action, or if they have done something criminal and they don't know how else to escape it, so they seem to think that suicide may be the only option to that. People who have had a recent loss. So this includes a relationship, a death, a job. It's all forms of grief. Financial hardship is another one. Financial hardship, this is a very common one. Terminal illness and chronic pain. So people who have chronic pain and are terminally ill feel like they are burdens to people around them, and they feel like they need to constantly ask for help, and believing that their loved ones would be better off without them. There are those who have faced bullying and self-image issues. Hello, that's me right now. I faced that when I was growing up. I faced immense bullying at school. So, and it leads to some crazy thoughts that you have in your mind. Trauma such as sexual assault or domestic and family violence, or having a friend, family member, or work colleague who has died by suicide. And finally, those who live with a mental illness. So there are so many reasons. And it's very important to be empathetic towards people's situations, because we are all fighting a battle that not many people know about. Not anybody might know about. So let's talk about the warning signs. What are the warning signs that somebody may be suicidal or is thinking about ending their life? Obviously, the most obvious one is somebody who talks about suicide. They make statements like, I want to end my life. I wish I wasn't alive. I wish I wasn't born. If you notice somebody who is getting the means to take their lives, so buying certain items, drugs, alcohol to consume, people who withdraw from social contact and they want to be left alone, you suddenly stop hearing from somebody. People who have sudden mood swings, so they are emotionally high one day and then deeply discouraged the next day. This might be a sign of another underlying mental health condition as well. People who are preoccupied with death or dying or violence, and they constantly talk about it. People who feel completely trapped or hopeless about a certain situation. People who have increased the usage of alcohol or drugs, or they combine them. Sometimes another sign is the loss of interest in personal hygiene. Changing from a normal routine, so eating and sleeping patterns have completely changed, or if your friends have stopped coming to the gym or doing things they once loved, can be a sign. People who do risky or self-destructive things, such as using drugs or even driving recklessly. Unexpected or unforeseen weight gain or weight loss, quite rapid. Unexplained or sudden crying, or breaking or fighting the law on purpose. Giving away belongings or getting their affairs in order, especially when there is no logical explanation for this at all, and you can't tell why they're doing this. Another sign is saying goodbye as if it may be the last time, like they're not going to see you again. So this could be a possible reason, so pay careful attention to this. Those who develop personality changes, or they are, severely anxious or agitated, especially if any of the above that I've just mentioned to you have happened, or they've made a previous suicide attempt. So it's really important to know that not everybody demonstrates these signs, and you may just never know. And because people can be good at hiding their innermost thoughts, and until somebody displays such behaviors, it can be quite difficult to know what they're thinking. And not everybody's going to tell you that they're feeling suicidal. So if you know that something has changed in their life, a job, a relationship, money problems, if they end up displaying signs, you may happen to notice something is up. It is so important to speak up. Even if it seems like nothing is wrong, check up on your friends and family. They may not be feeling suicidal, but there could be something else there. And, it is more simple than you think to actually start a conversation. It's not complex, so please don't be afraid to start a conversation. I am going to read you out a few conversation starters in a short while. A conversation can save a life, and using the word suicide in such a calm, casual manner, it just shows that it is okay to talk about it. Talking about suicide, like I'm doing right now, it reduces the shame, the stigma, and it encourages an open conversation. So the next thing I want to talk about is, what are the thoughts that people who are suicidal have? So a few things that they might be thinking to themselves is, I've let myself and other people down, especially if they've, lost a job or not lived up to some sort of expectations. They feel like a burden. These are, people who may have terminal illnesses as well. Not all the time, sometimes. I hate myself. I am a failure. Nobody needs me. I will never find a way out of my problem. Or they think to themselves, what is the point of living? They think to themselves, I've lost everything. Or they think that nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about me. Or I want to end the pain. Or they want peace. I just want peace. Or they think that things will never get better for me. There's many thoughts that a person has. And, these thoughts they are not pleasant, and they are not easy to live with. Not everybody will share their innermost thoughts. Excuse me. So how to start the conversation. So Beyond Blue have some examples of conversation starters that I wanted to share with you. And then I'll follow through and give you some of my own as well. The most simple way that you could just open the conversation, if you think something is up, how are you? And follow up with, after they've, spoken to you or told you how they're feeling, you could follow up with, how are you really? Really, how are you? That just indicates to them that that something may not be right, or that there's something that they can share if they want to. You're giving them that space to do so. The next thing you can say to them is, you don't seem yourself. And letting a person know that you've noticed something different shows them that you care and that you are paying attention. So it's very important to let them know that you are concerned about them, not upset with them for behaving differently, but you're just concerned. The next one you can do is you can just say, I've had a terrible week. I've had a terrible day. How was yours? Sometimes it's a good idea to break the ice and to show that that life isn't always great, and that to show that you understand. So some of the things that you are struggling with can actually be a way to start a conversation, but be careful not to make it all about you. But showing your vulnerability can encourage somebody else to open up and share theirs. And another thing that you can say is be direct. Is everything okay at home or school or university? You can make a conversation, a question specific, and it can get the conversation started. But remember that it may not be one thing that is affecting them. It could be a combination of things, or it could be just a general feeling. You don't know, and you may not know until they really, really open up to you. Some other things I'd suggest, and if you notice that they have stopped doing something that they once loved, like playing a sport, or you can ask them directly, hey, I've noticed that you've stopped playing this sport that you used to love. I'm concerned about you. What's up? Do you want to talk about it? Or you can say, I've noticed that you've been feeling down lately. How are things at home? Tell me how you're feeling. If you know that somebody has gone through a breakup, reach out to them. If you know that somebody has lost a job, reach out to them. It doesn't have to be in a formal setting. Go for a run, go for a walk, send them a text, just give them a call. Even if it's at their place, it might be better because they're most likely to be in a more comfortable environment. People who have gone through messy breakups with or without children, or have lost their jobs and are going through tough times, especially financial, they are at risk of suicide. So here are some more things that you can ask that I'm going to read out to you. You can ask them, how are you coping with what's been going on in your life? So this shows that something's been going on and you want to find out more to see if you can help them. You can say, sounds like things are tough and really hard at the moment. Can you tell me a bit more about that? If you know that somebody is depressed or is facing depression, you can ask them, how are you managing? How is your depression? You could say, I wanted to check in on you. I know things have been rough. How are you? How are you really? Or you can say, take your time and tell me what's been happening for you at the moment. I'm so sorry that you are feeling this way. Can you tell me more about how you're feeling? They may not show signs all the time. That doesn't mean that a person is not contemplating suicide, but let's bust a myth right now. Talking about suicide is not going to make a person who is feeling suicidal take action. It's not going to make them more suicidal. So if anything, asking them shows that you actually care, and it allows them to talk about their feelings and their plans. And it is the first step to getting help. Talk therapy, psychotherapy, that is the first step to getting help. So you can ask more direct questions. Do you feel like giving up? Can you tell me more about why you want to die? Or what has brought you to this place? Or what has brought you to feel this way? How can I support you? Have you thought about seeking support? Have you ever called a helpline? You can be direct. Being direct is probably one of the best ways to ascertain what they are feeling and thinking. You can ask them, who can I call for you right now? Are you thinking about dying, or are you thinking about hurting yourself? Or are you thinking about committing suicide? Have you ever thought about committing suicide before, or tried to harm yourself before? Have you thought about how or when you'd do it? Do you have access to things or items that can be used to harm yourself? So the reason why you are asking all this is to know, do they have the intention, the plan, the time frame, and the means to act on their thoughts? And this information can also help you if you need to call emergency services to explain to them what is going on. The opposite of asking somebody something is listening. So you also have to be patient and calm. So if you don't know what to say, if you don't know what to ask, rather, what you can say is, I'm staying right here and want to listen and help. Even if they don't believe you, you can just say it. You can say, when you're ready to talk, I'm here to listen. You can say, I know it's hard and scary to talk about suicide, but take your time and I will listen because I am not going anywhere. You can say, you may not believe it right now, but the way you're feeling will change. Or you can say, when you want to give up, tell yourself that you will hold off just 1 more minute, 1 more hour, 1 more day, whatever it is that you can manage. You can say, I'm concerned about you because I care and I want to offer you support however it is that I could possibly do so. So you can talk to me about anything that you want. You can say, I'm here to listen with no judgments and I care about you and I will be here to listen and support you. And if you don't know what to say, and that's fine as well, you don't have to know what to say. It's a tough situation to be in. It is scary and it's very confronting. Just sit with them. Just be present. Just sit with them. If there's nothing else, if you don't know what to do, just sit with them. Now, if someone does open up to you, make sure that you thank them. Make sure that you thank them for opening up to you. It is not easy to talk about feelings. It is not easy to talk about feelings of suicide. That is very difficult. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to talk about this. So, many times this is a topic that people keep locked up here. And tell them, thank you. What you just told me required so much strength and so much courage. Thank you for trusting me. And I want you to know that there is hope and I'm going to be there for you and we can find support together. Tell them how brave they are. You are so brave for talking about this because it's true. Talking about suicide is a very, very major and a very brave thing for somebody to do, especially when they have kept it locked up here for so long. If you have a gut feeling that a person is feeling suicidal, follow your gut. Follow your gut, your intuition, your gut. It is there for a reason. Please follow it. Don't be afraid to be direct if you have to be direct, but it is very, very important to follow your gut. I followed my gut on several occasions and I was right. And a lot of us have, and we've realized how important it is to follow your heart and follow your gut. So this leads me to what not to say or do when a person is feeling suicidal. Do not agree to keep their suicidal thoughts or plans a secret. Do not assume that they will get better without getting help or that they will seek help on their own. Do not ridicule them. Do not make fun of them. This is not the time or the place to make fun of somebody. Do not underestimate them and think that this is all a lie, that they're just doing it for attention. Do not try and solve the problem. This is not a problem that you can solve overnight. Do not argue with them. Even if they say things that you find are, out of the blue, or you've never heard them say these things before. Don't act shocked or horrified if they tell you that they are feeling suicidal, because this is going to deter them from speaking up and speaking to you. Do not tell them to stop playing the victim, and this one is a big one, and I've seen a lot of people do this. Do not guilt a person by saying things like, what about your wife? What about your husband? What about your children, your mother, your father? A person should want to live for themselves and stay alive for the things that they love. And if you are guilting them by saying, but what about everybody else? You are implying that their life is only worth living for other people and not for themselves. You are invalidating how they are feeling. Do not guilt them by saying things like, oh, but other people have it worse than you, therefore you shouldn't feel like this. That's not right. Don't use the whole suicide is selfish claim. That is also not right. And don't use toxic positivity. Oh, be positive. Think of the positives. Everybody loves you. When you're feeling so vulnerable and so down, it is virtually impossible to suddenly become positive just because somebody else just told you that, oh, you should be positive. It doesn't work like that. Another thing that you should not do is use religion or God to guilt and shame them. This is against the religion, or you're going to go to hell. It's not right to say. But also, don't leave them alone. Do not leave them alone. Doesn't matter if they're yelling at you or screaming at you. It does not matter about that. Just do not leave them alone at this point in time. But what can you do? What are the practical steps you can take? Okay. What you can do, make an appointment with the GP or offer that you or somebody else can go with them. You can find a counselor or an employee assistance program, or a family member or a friend if this is somebody who's, a workmate. You can contact a helpline for information, such as the numbers that are on the bottom of your screen. You can help them connect to online support services. Once again, Beyond Blue, Lifeline. You can chat to them online as well. They don't have to talk on the phone. Check if they are able to carry out this plan. Do they have the time? Do they have the place? Do they have the method? Do they have everything they need to do this? How much of an intention do they have? If you can, remove access to objects that they could use to hurt themselves. Call 000 if they are not resisting the idea of suicide, and tell emergency services that this person is feeling suicidal. They have a plan and you fear for their safety. Be their advocate and stay with them, even if they don't want you to. You have to let them know that you feel obligated and compelled to do so. And if you cannot call, send the text message to the next most appropriate person who could send help to the place that you are at or the place that they are at. It's also important to ascertain if they are under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And what you can do also is help them to write a safety plan. So a safety plan includes information like what they can do and who they can contact if they are feeling suicidal, where they can go, like a safe place, coping techniques. So this can be anything. This can be exercising. This can be breathing techniques. This can be yoga. This can be anything at all that is a coping technique for them. And also the safety plan can include warning signs as well that they are feeling suicidal. So it's about the awareness. A safety plan is about the awareness so that they can help themselves if they are by themselves. Reassure them that life can get better. And I know that sounds cliche, but reassuring them that life can get better, it's just giving them hope. You are not telling them what to do. You are not forcing them into anything, but you are just reassuring them. But also make sure you validate their emotions. This is real to them. You may not be able to understand what is going on in their mind, and you are not expected to understand them completely, but this is real to them, and they need validation for whatever is going on in their life. If you can't understand that, that's fine. You can tell them, look, I don't understand completely what you're going through, but I want to, and I want to support you. I want to be here for you. You can also grab them an item that feels comforting. Put on some music, get moving, exercise, if it is appropriate to do so. But do not force or pressurize them. But make sure if you need to call emergency services, do that, and don't feel guilty for it, even if they don't want you to, because they need help and you are somebody who can be there to help them, but you can't help them as much as emergency services can. Now, it's very important that you look after yourself as well, because trying to help somebody who is feeling suicidal, it is traumatic. It can be very, very traumatic, and it can leave a very lasting impression on you because you have been exposed to trauma. So reach out to helplines or counselors, or seek professional support if you need to. You yourself can call Lifeline or Beyond Blue and tell them what has happened. And if there's anybody tonight who is watching and is feeling suicidal, please remember, you matter. You matter. Your life matters now and always. So please reach out to me or reach out to the numbers on the bottom of this screen if you need help. I hope that what the information I provided you tonight is helpful to you. There are dialogues that you can use if you need to help somebody, if you are in this situation. It is very important that you look out for these signs in your friends, in your loved ones. Pick up your phone right now. Text somebody and call somebody and just check in with them, because one conversation can change a life. So rewatch this video as many times as you need. I have tried to be as comprehensive as I can when it comes to trigger warnings and things like that. So, and I've also tried to incorporate as many phrases as possible that can help you open this conversation. So what I'm going to do is leave you with some national helplines. There are interpreters available. Most of these numbers are 24/7. So make sure that you write this down, take a screenshot if you're on your phone. If you want me to send it to you, I can send it to you. Please call any of these numbers if you ever need to. If you're a parent going through hardship, you're not sure what to do, call. If you're a parent who has a child who you think might be feeling suicidal, the parent line, New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, Northern Territory, the parent line, I've got that on the screen right now. Give them a call. If you are noticing these behaviors in your friends, your children, anybody around you, approach them and talk to them, or give a number a call. Please screenshot these if you need to. So please take care of yourself, people. Please look after yourselves. I know it's a tough time. I know it's COVID. I know it's insane right now. Look after yourself and reach out to me if you need anything. I will leave these numbers on the screen for you for a while so you can take a screenshot of them if you need to, and take care of yourself. If there's anything else that you need me to confirm or help you with, you know where I am. I am never hard to find. I'm really never hard to find. I'm everywhere. So reach out to me, all right? And take care. So I'm just going to put these numbers on the screen just in case you need them.